provided by Thomas Allgeier and Frennis, based on the most relevant posts on LinkedIn about next-gen vehicle intelligence in CW on 3D2. Frennis is a B2B market research company working with enterprises to optimize their campaigns with account and executive insights far beyond AI. Welcome, everyone. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the absolute latest in next-gen vehicle intelligence. We've sifted through the most relevant LinkedIn posts from calendar weeks 31 and 32 to bring you the top trends, insights, and maybe some surprising aha moments you need to stay ahead.
That's right. For anyone in the mobility industry, or frankly, even if you're just fascinated by the future of transport, this is sort of your shortcut. It's about understanding what's truly shaping the road ahead, from the big shift to software-defined vehicles, all the way to the cutting edge of autonomy, testing, and even cybersecurity. We'll unpack the key stuff without all the noise so you can walk away really well informed.
Okay, let's get into it. First up, you can't really talk about next-gen mobility without diving deep into the software-defined vehicle, or SDV. We've seen this clear, undeniable theme emerging. The car isn't just, a machine anymore. It's becoming something much more dynamic.
Exactly. Karthik Chandrasekaran put this really well. He described SDVs not just as cars, but as this fundamental shift from mechanical machines to actual digital platforms on wheels. What's truly revolutionary here is that your car's capabilities can evolve, they can improve after you buy it. Think real-time data processing, over-the-air updates.
So your car gets smarter over time, like a phone.
Pretty much, yeah. Smarter, safer, maybe more personalized. It's a completely different ownership model.
That really does reframe things. And building on that, Ruhul Halim emphasized SDVs are redefining mobility, powered by, this powerful mix of AI, next-gen semiconductors, and cloud-native development. It's fundamentally changing how vehicles are designed, how they're built, even how they operate day to day.
And it's a shift that's arguably long overdue. Frank Petznick highlighted how traditional vehicle development often sort of sidelined software. Hardware came first, software later. That sequential method, it just led to inefficiencies, and frankly, it's unsustainable now with how fast things are moving. We're seeing a total flip in that thinking.
That makes perfect sense. And because of this shift, some old terms are being, challenged, like Martin Schleicher calling to drop the phrase non-differentiating software. His point is that core things like the OS, middleware, the infrastructure layers, these are absolutely mission critical. They need deep engineering, long-term stability. That's far from non-differentiating. It's foundational.
It's a crucial reframe, definitely, because these aren't just off-the-shelf parts. And this whole SDV transformation, it isn't happening in a vacuum, right? It's driving these major ecosystem plays. Boris Engel pointed out the huge impact of QNX's safety-certified runtime integrating with Microsoft Azure. This isn't just some tech deal. It actually lets software development and testing happen much more in the cloud. That dramatically changes time to market and helps with these shift-left concepts.
Hold on. Shift-left. Can you unpack that a bit? What does that mean here?
Oh, sure. Good question. So shift-left in software basically means moving things like testing and quality checks earlier in the development process, like way to the left on a timeline chart. Instead of finding bugs right before launch, you're catching them during design or coding. Cloud tools make this way easier, run simulations, test faster, fix things early. It's kind of a hybrid model. Develop in the cloud, run the final code efficiently on the edge in the car itself.
Okay. So it's about catching problems sooner and speeding things up. Got it. That seems like a huge step for automotive software. And similarly, Serhat Erdem and Vigga Schmidt shared how Renault Group is speeding up their SDV work by collaborating with Ampere Software Technology and using Google Cloud. They're even integrating AI tools like Google's Gemini Code Assist for development, faster deployment, real-time monitoring.
Which raises a really big question. How do you standardize these incredibly complex, constantly evolving platforms, especially across competitors? Well, Anil Kurtu and Christian Heisenberger shared something fascinating. German auto giants BMW, Mercedes-Benz, VW Group, they're actually joining forces under the Eclipse Foundation. They're building a shared open-source SDV platform called S-Core.
Wow, collaborating on a core platform.
It is. Almost unprecedented, really. The goal is to cut development costs, speed up innovation for everyone, and just establish a common base layer.
That's a monumental effort. And it's not just Europe, right? Soundarya Srivastava's insights highlighted a key shift. India isn't just a service hub anymore. It's rapidly becoming a global innovation powerhouse for SDVs. They're using agile methods, digital tool chains, really setting new benchmarks for speed and efficiency. They seem to be firmly in the driver's seat.
Indeed. And Tying back to the ecosystem idea, Renee Schindler and Partha Goswami gave this really interesting look at Xiaomi Automotive, the phone company. They're not just jumping into the electric vehicle race, they're trying to redefine it with deep ecosystem integration, using their consumer tech background to create this human car X home experience. They've got their own OS, Hyper OS, connecting everything, plus their own autonomous tech.
Right, that human X, car X home thing, the cross-device integration. It's a really unique angle for a new car maker. And speaking of new approaches, John McCulley raised a critical point about IP strategy for FTVs, intellectual property. He said up to 80% of a next-gen car's innovation might be software and electronic IP. How you manage that IP, that could make or break an SDV program. It's a huge competitive differentiator.
Absolutely. And for the traditional OEMs, the established players trying to adapt. Timo Miller emphasized their urgent mission is basically closing that software development gap compared to the newer entrants. Steve Greenfield's analysis pointed out Tesla's probably closest to full SDVs right now, with Chinese startups like NIO and XPeng and U.S. makers like Rivian and Lucid also pushing hard. That puts immense pressure on the legacy automakers.
And it's not just the car companies feeling it, is it? Tahid Khan talked about this perfect storm facing suppliers, things like shrinking profits, geopolitical issues. Adapting to this SDV future isn't just about staying current for them. It's really about survival and staying competitive.
Okay, so moving from that foundational SDV shift to what it actually enables. Let's talk about the rapid advances in ADC system, advanced driver assistance systems and autonomous driving, and of course the crucial role AI is playing in all of this.
Yeah, it's incredible how detailed the tech is getting. Matt Damasceno reminded us that behind all the sensors, the cameras, radar, LiDAR, it's often microcontrollers doing the heavy lifting for ADs, making those split-second, potentially life-saving decisions. And these aren't just any chips, right? They're often ASIL-D certified.
Exactly. ASIL-D, that's the highest automotive safety integrity level. It's the gold standard, basically saying these components are robust enough for the most critical safety functions. They really are the safety backbone of these systems.
Okay. And the ambition level here seems huge.
Oh, definitely. Shansini highlighted Mobileye's trajectory. They went from single cameras to now powering, over 200 million vehicles. They're building real-time maps, running robotaxis. It's becoming this massive global intelligence network that's constantly learning.
And for getting this tech into more regular cars, scalability must be crucial. Keyvan Kargar shared that AICC and Nullmax are partnering up in China. They're focused on accelerating ADAS commercialization, specifically aiming for scalable, map-free ADAS for those middle-tier vehicles. It's about bridging that gap between the super high-end stuff and mass adoption.
Yeah, making it accessible. But beyond just the tech specs, Gregor Stinglane made a really critical point for the industry, bridging the gap between features and actual benefits. He stressed, nobody really buys a collision avoidance system. They buy peace of mind. So companies need to translate tech jargon into tangible outcomes. Instead of saying, our ADAS processes 120 frames per second, say something like, our system detects hazards 3 seconds earlier, potentially preventing accidents that could cost you, say, €28,000 each.
That's a powerful shift in mindset, especially for marketing and sales. And AI isn't just for the driving part, is it? Magnus Esberg highlighted how Mercedes-Benz is using AI throughout their software development cycles. It's enhancing everything from smarter mobility services to creating a really hyper-personalized digital experience inside the car.
Indeed. And to actually enable all that sophisticated AI, Michael Stephen emphasized that sensor simulation isn't just some extra feature anymore. It's foundational for developing these embodied AI systems, especially for safety-critical stuff like ADAS and autonomy. Simulation provides deterministic, repeatable, perfectly annotated data in a virtual world. That's absolutely crucial for training and validating the machine learning models.
Huge for efficiency and just making sure it works reliably. And taking that simulation idea even further, Yves Piersman announced a new AI platform version that actually lets engineers generate these complex OpenX simulation files just by typing in natural language.
Wait, seriously, you just described the scenario you want to test?
Apparently so. Imagine how fast you could create complex test scenarios. Just describe it, and the AI builds the simulation file.
That's wow, game-changing speed. And finally, just to clear up some common confusion, Satyabrata Pradhan made a good point debunking the myth of self-driving cars as these human-like robots. He stressed they're sophisticated software-defined vehicles, a network of systems designed to see more, react faster, and crucially, never get distracted. It's about building a predictable, robust system, not just trying to copy a flawed human driver.
Okay, so all this incredible innovation, ADAS, autonomy, it all hinges on really smart testing and rock-solid validation, right? So what's the latest thinking on how the industry is actually tackling this massive challenge?
Well, Guido Berardi reported from talking to customers that engineering teams are under just immense pressure. Faster delivery, fewer physical prototypes. That's where this idea of smart testing comes in. It's about integrating simulation, hardware in the loop, or HIL, where you test real hardware with simulated inputs and real-world data, creating these continuous, intelligent workflows. It's less about endless iterations and more about gaining deep insights quickly.
That seems absolutely essential now. And Vinicius to Design really hammered home a key point. Validation shouldn't be an afterthought in an SDV project. It needs to be a core driver of the design right from the start. He warned that almost every major SDV delay stems from pain discovered late in the validation stage. Integration nightmares, missed deadlines. His advice was clear. Shift left. Make V&V validation and verification your first architectural decision. Being proactive saves massive headaches later.
That shift-left idea keeps coming up, doesn't it? It's clearly gaining serious traction. Dr. Celine Laurent-Winter highlighted how virtual ECUs, basically software models of the physical electronic control units, are unlocking faster development cycles and enabling much better collaboration, making cutting-edge software more accessible. And Greg Basich reinforced how cloud-based development and test environments are becoming absolutely essential for efficiency. They let distributed teams work together asynchronously, breaking down those old geographical barriers.
Yeah, breaking down barriers, speeding things up. It seems to be the name of the game. Marcus Rettstedt introduced something called OpenDuty. It's an open-source project that's aiming to redefine how automotive software is built and tested by enabling really powerful remote collaboration. Picture this. ECUs sitting in Munich, a test rig running in Bangalore, and a developer working from Toronto, all connected and working together like you're in the same room, just using standard IP networks.
No shipping hardware back and forth, no delays.
Yeah.
That's a really powerful vision for global engineering.
Exactly. And supporting these new ways of working, Robert Fay announced the TPT 2025 Board 09 release that's a testing tool. It's focusing on enhancing the testing experience with things like auto-generated tests for those virtual ECUs, a smarter review workflow, and new Python API. It's all about making testing clearer, more collaborative, and keeping things moving forward efficiently.
Jeff Walker's insights from the AEK 2025 conference echoed this too. He emphasized the V model, that structured development approach, but also leveraging AI tools to boost productivity in this whole SDV push, bringing together perspectives from startups, tier ones, and the big OEMs.
And Dr. Fatih Teksin's SDV Coffee Talk really drove home the point. Shift-left testing and modern development practices are absolutely necessary now. He stated pretty bluntly that classical, old-school testing methods just don't cut it in the SDV era. It requires constant re-steering and adaptation, not just rigid, upfront planning. Dr. Jan Weininger noted something similar too. The old ways are just too slow and inflexible.
It's inspiring, though, seeing this transformation happen. Leander Bart shared a really nice success story, a key product successfully launching into series production across multiple premium OEMs. And he highlighted that the success came down to perseverance, real team spirit, and what he called a one-tier one mindset. Focusing on, let's make it happen together instead of pointing fingers. It shows that collaboration isn't just technically necessary, it makes the whole process faster and smoother culturally, too.
Okay, so beyond the core intelligence and how these vehicles are built, what about the experience inside the car? That's becoming a huge battleground for winning over customers, right? The digital cockpit, the user experience.
Oh, absolutely. It's evolving incredibly quickly. Augustin Friedel shared some really interesting data-driven insights on how China's digital cockpit solutions are moving at lightning speed. He said that alongside ADS, the key areas of focus are screens, AI integration, content delivery, sheer compute performance, and importantly, voice interfaces. Domestic Chinese OEMs like XPeng, NIO, BYD, they're innovating heavily. Local suppliers are dominating things like those big integrated center console displays, but the international players are catching up fast, often through local partnerships. It's a super competitive space.
And there's this interesting tension, isn't there, around how our digital lives integrate with the car. Tiago Rodriguez posed a great question about this. Should the car cockpit just seamlessly mirror your smartphone experience? Or will the in-car UX always kind of play second fiddle to our phones, which we're already so attached to? He argued for a user-centric integration where the car systems actually complement the phone rather than trying to awkwardly compete with it.
That's a really critical design philosophy to get right, because if it feels clunky, people just won't use it. And speaking of clunky integration, Prasanth Gauravatala lamented how in-car voice assistants often feel, well, sluggish and disconnected from the rest of the car's functions.
Yeah, I think we've all experienced that frustration.
But he did note that some OEMs, especially in China, seem to have made real strides here. They've got assistants that are fast, sound natural, and are deeply integrated into the vehicle systems. It shows what's possible when voice isn't just tacked on as an afterthought, but designed in from the core.
Okay, so with all this software, all this connectivity, all this data zipping around, security and functional safety become absolutely non-negotiable, right? What are the key takeaways there?
Philip Veronese gave a really simple but powerful example to show the shift in thinking required. A traditional mechanical handbrake. The risk analysis is pretty straightforward, static. But an electronic handbrake with its own ECU potentially getting software updates that requires a complete rethink. You have to move from a static analysis to a dynamic, ongoing one, using methods like TAR threat analysis and risk assessment. Because software updates, new attack methods popping up, changing regulations, it means security isn't a one-time check. It has to be continuous.
That's a massive shift. From a single check to constant vigilance. And to make sure the industry is actually doing this, Vinod Shivana highlighted that the UNISI regulations, specifically UN 155 and UN 156, remain absolutely central requirements. These aren't just suggestions. They provide the legal framework, the teeth, to ensure manufacturers are designing secure systems from the get-go and have processes to manage vulnerabilities throughout the vehicle's entire life.
And just to hammer home the real-world risks, Dennis Laskoff shared some rare insights from the DIFCON security conference. A researcher actually managed to hack into the brakes of a tanker trailer through the J2497 protocol.
Wow, okay. That's sobering.
It is. A stark reminder that no system is truly immune, and rigorous testing against real-world attack vectors is crucial.
It's definitely no wonder functional safety and cybersecurity have such a high profile right now. Bartholomew Zak, Alish Bayan, Rebecca Kavanaugh, Plato Pathros. They all pointed towards upcoming specialized conferences and summits focused specifically on these critical topics. Bringing together the top experts to really shape the future of safe and secure mobility. The industry is clearly investing heavily here.
Absolutely. It's clear cybersecurity isn't just an add-on feature anymore. It has to be fundamental. As Ruhul Halim put it again, SDVs need to be built with cybersecurity at the core. These intelligent, updatable platforms must also be inherently resilient against threats.
So this rapid evolution, it's not just about the tech in isolation, is it? It's deeply tangled up with a wider industry landscape, global politics, regulations, partnerships.
Exactly. That's where things get really complex and really interesting. Alex Koester highlighted how geopolitical regulations are starting to hit automotive software pretty hard. It impacts everything from the core chips, the SOCs, to the AI models used. Even over-the-air updates, we're seeing OEMs forced to build region-specific versions, like the China for China approach. So leaders are shifting strategy designed for compliance from the start, segment markets intelligently, and localize the parts that cause regulatory friction.
That sounds incredibly complex to manage globally. How do companies even navigate that? Søren Waldman made a really powerful statement about this. No one builds a software-defined vehicle alone. Chip makers, cloud providers, Tier 1 suppliers, the OEMs themselves, they aren't just swapping parts anymore. They're actively co-creating capabilities. He argued the future will be built by these interconnected systems, these ecosystems, not by companies working in isolation. Collaboration is essential.
It truly feels like an era defined by partnerships. Stefan Bratzel offered a fascinating comparison between BMW and Mercedes-Benz's innovation strategies over the last few years, from 2020 to 2024. His analysis suggested Mercedes showed broader, high-level innovation across most tech fields, whereas BMW displayed more focused strength in specific areas like connectivity and battery electric vehicles, BEVs. It's interesting to see how these premium players are placing their bets.
And speaking of leadership in enabling all this, Herman Hamel shared that T-Systems International was recognized as a leader in automotive and mobility services. That really underscores the role these major service providers play in driving digital transformation across the whole value chain, helping OEMs, suppliers, everyone navigate things like autonomous systems, SDVs, cloud innovation.
It's just a truly transformative period. Mark Amblard, reflecting on writing his 100th Mobility Revolution article, looked back over the past decade. He highlighted these profound shifts: clean mobility, autonomous driving taking shape, the rise of software and SDVs, completely new car makers entering the scene. It's a real testament to how far things have come, but also how much more change is probably right around the corner.
And to keep pace with all this change, the community aspect seems vital, right? Sharing knowledge, learning from each other.
Absolutely. Philip Ammann reported from the AGL summer meeting, that's automotive-grade Linux, showcasing progress in open-source SDV efforts. Florian Rhodes shared insights from panels at the ADS and Autonomous Vehicle Technology Summit, bringing very practical, real-world perspectives on autonomy challenges. And we saw multiple mentions of Automotive Cybersecurity Week, emphasizing the tech, the challenges, and the business strategies needed to stay secure.
And finally, for you, our listeners looking for even more ways to dive deeper and stay informed, people like Stefan Lagrisol, Dr. Jan Weyinger, Dr. Fatih Tekin, and Jeff Walker all highlighted the growing importance of things like podcasts like this one, hopefully, and event roundups. They're great ways to amplify lessons learned about productivity, AI tools, modern development workflows. It's clear continuous learning is just part of the job now in this industry. Okay, that wraps up our deep dive into the latest next-gen vehicle intelligence trends we saw bubbling up on LinkedIn in calendar weeks 31 and 32. We really hope these insights give you a clearer picture of where the mobility industry is heading and what's truly driving the innovation right now.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, remember new ones drop every 2 weeks. Also, be sure to check out our other editions covering different areas. We have deep dives on electrification and battery technology, future mobility and market evolution, and also commercial fleet insights.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. Here's a final thought. As vehicles become more software-defined, more connected, that line between a car and just another smart device gets blurrier and blurrier, doesn't it? So what does ownership truly mean for a vehicle that's constantly evolving, updating itself, maybe even learning about you? Something to maybe ponder as we look ahead. Do forget to subscribe to catch our next deep dive.